So, today's topic is going to be a little less about fixing, a little more about just general maintenance, taking care of stuff. Today we're going to be focusing on the winch. So, this guy is extremely important if you ever wheel alone, or, just if you wheel in really difficult areas or whatnot. You want to depend on this thing. So, if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. So, for a synthetic line, you need to take care of it every now and then, just so that it lasts, because it will last as long as wire rope, but you do have to, take care of it. So if you notice, it's a little bunched up and squished here and there, and it's not as dirty as it was because it's rained a couple days, but there's still definitely dirt in there, and what happens is the crumbs get inside the fibers and just kind of slowly tear it apart. Like all this, like just the stringiness, that's not really an issue. It's just the outer fibers kind of coming off. It doesn't really weaken the strength that much. It's still fine to use. But I'm going to show you guys how to take this all out and clean it. So first part is actually taking it all out. Okay, so we're going to take our winch, put it into freezable mode, disconnect our hook, and a pull. Now if it's stuck, you can always turn the vehicle on and force it out that way if you need to, but if you've been taking care of your rope and make sure you kind of rewrap it better, it should come out by hand with a little bit of pulling force. So let's pull it all out. Next, get yourself a big old bucket and some soap and some water, and fill her up about halfway or so. Bubbles are always good. I'm just using some dish soap, but you could use something else like Simple Green or some kind of other household cleaner. Just anything that's a mild, cleaner, detergent, whatever. Just get some bubbles going. Alright, now the fun part. Now that you got all your rope undone, start letting it soak. Put it all in there just to get it ready. Make sure she doesn't get too tangled. Really get it in there. Okay, so now I'm going to show you where the trick comes in for cleaning these properly. Find where your rope finally starts. And what you're going to do is sit here and open it up like this. So you squeeze the two ends and put it together so it opens up, and that'll get the stuff out from the inside. So you do that while you're underneath here. And you just keep doing that and working your way down the line. And that is what helps clean all the shit out of the rope. So by doing that, you get all the foamies in there and it's all nice and clean and whatnot. So, we're just going to do that for like an hour. And after doing that for a while, you'll notice that your rope looks basically brand new. Especially if you find any like pinch spots or anything that's just really dirty or if it looks cut up or anything, you just go through there and do that and it looks brand new. So I got a towel in the back set up so as I'm feeding the rope out, it's not landing on the dirt and getting sand in there, because that's what you don't want to do after spending all the time cleaning this. So I'll get back to you once I'm done messing around with all this little crap. Alright, so after a while you should finally be done, and there you go. That should be about 15 minutes of work or so. You'll get very intimate with your rope. And if you notice towards the end, it's actually thicker because of the way that they actually wrap this. The one side is actually woven into the other side. So just lay it out on a towel and try and dry it out a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly dry. Once all that is good, inspect your winch and all that good stuff. Make sure that your fairlead doesn't have any really sharp edges on there and it's not going to cut up your rope. Check up in here and make sure that there's no sharp edges on there. There's nothing sticking out or cutting or anything like that, and just that everything is pretty much in good condition. And if that's the case, then you can start wrapping it back up. So we'll start the motor, and we'll get our winch remote out, and we'll reel this in. Now the fun part. We're gonna put ourselves a glove on. It's not like this stuff really hurts, but it's just easier for the rope to run over your fingers. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap it from left to right, and we're gonna try and make it smooth all the way across. You're gonna make sure that you keep tension on it. That way it's actually tight. The best way to do this, honestly, is to hook your truck up to like a tree and just leave it in like neutral or something, and then winch yourself towards the tree, and that'll help keep it nice and tight. Because if you leave this loose and then go to winch on it, what it's going to do is it's going to pinch, and it's going to start squeezing the rope, and it's not something you want to do. You want to make sure that when you wrap this up, it's nice and tight. And try and make sure that the black nylon thing is on here. That keeps the heat from the winch brake from melting this wire. So, put tension on it, and you start going in. And if it helps, you can kind of make sure that you start it by hand, make sure it's going where it's supposed to. You want to make sure you're not too close, because if your finger gets stuck, you don't want it to get sucked in there. And this also it helps squeeze the excess water out, so you don't even really have to dry it. Then you can either just let it sit on there, you can hook it up to your D-ring or whatever you want. I think it looks the nicest like that. That way it's nice and hidden. There you go. So that right there is how you take care of your synthetic winch line and make it look all pretty. So look at that. It's all nice. And it looks good and it's clean. So this should last us for years to come. Now, I usually do this about once a year. I figure that's about all it really needs. You know, if you use this constantly, you might want to do it a little more, but you know, that's the basics of how to take care of your winch rope. And besides that, you know, just when you're using it, make sure you use the synthetic sock thing that they give you if you're going over sharp rocks or around trees or something like that, just to help it slide. You don't want this to get too hot, so every now and then give the winch a break, because that the break inside the winch drum does get warm, and it'll start melting that lower layer. So that's what that nylon sleeve was for, to try and help keep it from melting. Well, you know, besides that, it'll pretty much take care of itself. So there you go. That's how you clean up some synthetic winch cable when it's all dirty and stuff. Ooh.